Hello, I am Hortense le Gentil, and I am the author of the Unlocked Leader upcoming book. And the best advice I never received is from my grandmother in a dream. And she told me, go walk on the path of roses.
Go walk on the path of roses. Well, when did you get that in the dream, Hortense?
So it was in a time in my life I felt locked and I didn't feel, exactly myself. And I was at that time, I didn't know what to do. So I was like in a box, and I was, flying like that in circle, and I didn't know what to do. And it was difficult to take any decision at that time. And one night, my grandmother, who at that time passed away for a long time, I was I was late 30, let's say, late 30, something like that. I was married and I had my two children. So it was not the end of the world, but I didn't feel like I was really myself and at the right place. And in that dream, my grandmother came to me and she told me, go walk on the path of roses. I can tell you, I woke up and I said, because in my dream, I said, you know, yes, but where is it? And she laughed and she told me, you know where it is. And I woke up and I was furious because, hey, you gave me a good advice. It looks great because I knew that my grandmother was really, I just love my grandmother. She was a very, a woman with a lot of wisdom and generosity, and she was always there to help people, especially during the war. And so each time, she talked to me in real when she was still in life. It was something for me. It was something. I was always listening, and then she came back in this dream and told me that, and she just loved roses. So I thought, okay, it looks great, and I think this is, the path of being happy, right? And from that moment, now we are years later, and and I explain, the story in the book, and the book, every chapter begins by a fable, and I explain that because in fact, it was the beginning of my journey to unlock myself and to become, who I meant to be, the person I wanted to be. But it was, the turning point.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, thank goodness for your grandmother for that beautiful advice to help you get unlocked. So, what does it mean to be an unlocked leader? I mean, that's the title of your book, but tell me, what does that mean?
It means, to free yourself from your mind trap or mind traps that hold you back that hold you back. This is what that means. And because we at one moment in our life, we all feel locked somewhere, and sometimes. So as I explained, for myself, but as a leader, as a person, especially when we have been successful doing one way, we do it over and over and over, and it doesn't work anymore. So you don't know what to do. So you feel exhausted because you try again, doesn't. And so you're asking yourself, what's going on? What should I do differently? And sometimes even you are sick. And this is what locked means.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's so interesting. So, what your subtitle drives at that even harder, right? Daring to lead with our own voice, right? Leading with empathy and shining our light. So why is it daring to kind of unlock our own voice? I mean, what's isn't that something we all do?
No, because very often even without thinking about it, you are You are locked. If I go back, to the definition of the mind trap. So it's really this mental obstacle that is between you and you today and you tomorrow. So, and dare to free your own voice means you have to show up for being who you really are. So be sure that you're writing your own story, because this mind trap we're talking about are, habits, are where they're coming from. They can come from other voices, and the voices of authority, of collective voices, or whatever are the voices. But if you don't listen to your voice, if you don't do what you feel is right for you, even if around you people telling you that is not the right way to do it, if you are not courageous enough to do it, to unlock yourself, to show up as yourself, to unlock this voice, in fact, nothing is going to happen. You are not going to be yourself. You are not going on this journey to find yourself and to do what you're meant to do, to find, the mission in the world, and to find your own talent. You will be good, maybe, but you will not be great, wonderful, very happy, very successful. And the environment around you, same, because of course, what you do is the people around you are, of course, affected. So if you are yourself, if it's your own voice that you're talking, if you write your own story, it's going to work. I can tell you, because I did it. So, and this is what I do with all my, all my clients as a coach, because I'm a leadership and I'm an executive leadership coach also. And this is, the beginning of my journey, like I said at the beginning, or beginning of doing myself or being myself. So, and at that time I had to take hard decision, very hard decision, I can tell you. I had to leave everything. I had, to leave my marriage. I took my 2 children, and I decided to change completely my work life. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. This is what I did after. But I began, everything from scratch. So it's not easy.
Wow. That isn't easy. I mean, that's definitely a challenge, and there's a lot of risk there. So, was it just Grandma's dream that gave you the courage, or what was it inside you that said, this is what I need to do?
So at one point, I got very sick. I was very sick. So I had to lay in bed for 4 months. So I was very sick. So I had time to think. So why am I, so sick? So, and the reason why, the conclusion was, is because I don't live the life I should do. And I'm living a good life, but this is not the right life for me. And this is not unleashing who I was already. I was hiding, to myself and to others who I was, in fact. I couldn't be myself. I couldn't show up like I wanted really. So I tried my best, but it was very hard. And I couldn't, flourish. I couldn't grow up. And so when I was sick, again, I had time to think about all that. And I took the decision that at one point, I really knew I had to be courageous and to do it, because it was the right way to do. I didn't want, to stay sick anyway. And for my children also, I wanted, to show my children that, okay, sometimes you have to take hard decision. And as a leader, by the way, you take hard decision and you are leader of your life. But sometimes you have to do it. That's all. So I took the decision, it was not in one day. So, I had time to think, I had support, of course, and I took the time until, everything was clear in my, everything was clear in my head. I had my voice. I knew why. And I said, okay, now I'm ready. And it's going too hard, but I'm going to do it because I know that it's the right thing to do for me, for my environment. And I didn't know at that time, but also for maybe, I wanted to say for the world, but I don't want to say that. But I mean, now I'm here to help people. And I'm glad, that I've been through all that, because without that, I would not be here to help. And now I found my mission, and I found my calling, and this is what I do every day. And this is why I wrote this book. So I hope, and my get me happy when I see people that I can help people, and they say you helped me. So I think no regret, never.
Good for you. Well, that's beautiful. Well, that's very vulnerable. And part of what you have in your book, you talk about the journey from being that superhero leader to being the human leader. So, isn't a superhero, though, isn't that what leaders are meant to be? Aren't we supposed to be superheroes?
This is a definition of sometimes that you have, but you have to challenge this definition, challenge this voice, because is it the right definition? You want to be a superhero, okay, but this is not what the world wants. And first, superhero, you cannot be a superhero because we are just human beings. So our education, other voices ask us as leaders to have all the answers, to always, show up as the best person, and not showing vulnerability, not showing emotions and things like that. But that's wrong. The world changed, as we all know. Expectation has changed. So people, they don't need another hero. Like Tina Turner said, we don't need another hero. We need a human being. We need to connect. They want to connect with you as a leader. If they don't connect with you, they will not be inspired, and they will not follow you really. So because our environment and the world change, expectation change. So as a leader, being a superhero, if this is your definition of leadership, best way to go. It works much better when you become human. But to become human, you need to be courageous, because it's not, that easy to change your mindset.
But I mean, it seems so simple, though, to just to make that shift. But why is it? I guess, why do we think that's courageous to do that? I mean, isn't that? I mean, you did it. I've done it. Why is that? Like, what's the risk there? Why do leaders struggle with that?
Because you have been successful to do it. So I think you have to fear. You have fears. So the first fear is the fear to fail. Oh, it sounds good, but I'm not used to do that. So what's going to happen? And what's going to happen? Like, clients told me, what's going to happen if, I am in a meeting and somebody, tell me, for example, that, he or she lost someone, showing emotions, and how I'm going to deal with those emotions. I cannot fix it. Yes, but this is a problem. As a leader, we want to fix everything, but we cannot anyway. We don't have all the answer today, right? When you wake up in the morning, you don't have all the answer. So showing this vulnerability, giving the space for people to express themselves it makes all the difference, because we are all of us, we are human beings. And as human, we are imperfect. And we have emotions. We can say we don't have emotion. You cannot hide your emotion because they are here. It's part of ourselves. And fears are part of our life. So the first thing is to face those fears.
So we face the fear, we feel it, we let it be, we offer that space, and then it's still awkward, it's still uncomfortable, it's still not normal, if you will. So what do we do with that? Like, how do we take that and unlock ourselves so that we can let that burst forth?
Mm-hmm. So you have to go to a transformation process. It's a process. So the first process is to challenge. So this is what I call mind shift, because you have to shift your mindset. And so the first step of this transformation is to challenge those fears. You have this conversation with your fears. You know that they are here. You make a deal, if you want, with your fears, but live with your fears. They're your friend also. They are not, only there, to stop you. And so the second thing is challenge your beliefs. For example, if we want, to go back to this superhero definition. Okay, who said, challenge this belief and challenge the voice behind that. Who said that you have to be a hero? Try to find. And challenge them with 3 questions. First one, is it true? Is it true that I need to be a superhero? You answer. Is it relevant? Second question. In case the first one is you answer yes. Okay. Is it relevant? And the third question is it helpful today? And you will see one point that would be no, it's not helpful. It doesn't help me anymore. It doesn't help. Maybe it helped you before because, when you were young and whatever, you were being successful. You said, okay, yes, I have to do much better. I have to be this superhero. I have to show up and be perfect. So maybe it helped you. But now, does it help you anymore? Challenge those beliefs. And if those beliefs and the answer are no, let go. Let go. Let them go and find peace. You thank them and you let them go. It help you, but now it is time to go. So this is the second thing. It's, when we learn how to bike, I don't know about you, but me, I had, training wheels. Okay, those training wheels was very helpful, right? But imagine that now I still have my training wheels. I would be ridiculous, first. And second, I could not go fast, I could not go far, and I could not be, do what I want. And I don't need them, by the way. So same with your beliefs. Same with the definition of who you should be. Where it's coming from? Challenge the voice. Who said that? Is it true? Is it relevant? Is it helpful? And let go. Let go. So you go to this process of mind shift. So, and at one moment, you just discover that, okay, you have to replace this belief by something. Okay, if I'm not a superhero, who am I? Maybe you are just this human being. You are this human leader. and how you want to show up as a leader. So now you build your story. Now you listen to your voice. So back to, to the dare to free your own voice. Now it's time to be the author of your life. It's time to write your own story, to listen to your own voice, and to decide how you want to be remembered as a leader. To decide to lead with empathy. And to decide, what memories do you want to let behind you? Where is the light that you want to shine in the world?
So I love those three questions, Hortense. Is it true? Is it relevant? And is it helpful today? And then decide who you want to be, how you want to show up, and how you do that. So I think that's so good. And especially when you qualify the helpfulness with helpful today, not helpful yesterday. That's so good, because I think sometimes we get trapped in the past and we really are focused on, well, this worked before, why not now? So how do we get back to the present? How do we stay focused on that when we're being tugged in a bunch of different directions? I know you coach and work with a lot of those bigger companies where, every quarter is an important quarter.
Absolutely. So from there, so you built, and you're the author of your own story, as we said. So really, it's very important to go back to your drivers. What drives you? Question. Go back, to your life and revisit your life, and what is important for you? What drives you? Going to how you want to be remembered. So how you do that? An exercise that I like to give to people is to write your eulogy. It's not fun, but it's not easy to do. But when you do it, you will understand what is important for you. And so clarify that. Clarify that, because this is your true north. This is really who you are. This is your fingerprint. And so from there, you decide how you want to show up, what you want to replace. For example, another exercise could be to have 3 columns. So one is what you want to keep in your behavior, the way you show up or you believe, what you want to keep, what you want to drop, what you want to add. So doing this exercise is very important, because again, this is your true north. This is you inside of you. And how you do that, and from there, because it's your base, every day, what you do is you check what I call your meeting with yourself, or your meeting rendezvous with yourself. And it's important to go back to those, decisions you took every day, because it's a new muscle in your brain. So I can explain after, but this is a new muscle that you are building, a new connection, a new you, in order to not going back. Every day you connect with yourself, and you just go through your questions or your affirmation and say, okay, did I do my best today? Did I do my best? It's not, you have to be the best, not the same. Just, to be sure that you are still on track. And so those daily routines are very helpful, especially in these crazy days. So it sounds like disconnected. Maybe this is what you're thinking now. Say, she's completely disconnected, from the work or from business. Not at all. because it's all about being empathetic. I mean, it's all about empathy. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know how you want to show up, if you don't know what drives you, how can you be a leader? Just tell me. How should I follow you? So leadership begins by yourself, understanding yourself, clear your voice, knowing why, and from there you can communicate and show up with your company and okay, what drives me, how it connects with what I'm doing today, the company, and communicate that to your team. And after, it's all together that you're going to do the business. It's you are the captain of the ship. Your team are the crew, and the crew has to know the vision you have and your why, the direction, and share that with you. And they need to know that they are important, they can be heard, that they are, the work is important, they can be seen and being empowered. So this is, every day that you do that. And as a leader, everything begins here. So this is how you show up. So on the meeting, when you are in your meeting, there is a way to open your meetings. Either you just open your meeting and you say, hi, we got that, we do that, thank you very much, bye-bye. Okay. Or you decide, to how are you? And, take your time to connect with others and take your time, to just listen and ask the right question to people, especially in sales. Because if you want to sell something, be sure that you the first person you sold that was you. If you yourself, you're not very clear on what you want to sell, people are not going to show you to follow you and to buy from you. So it's very important I think that people needs to believe you to buy. So as sales leaders in general, but especially in sales, believe in yourself, believe in what you want to sell, and make others believe. So it's all about purpose. Why are we going to sell that? How is it going to help people? Oh, good. Okay, so let's do it. So how you connect your why with the why of everyone, and you let again the space to your team to do the same. And this is how you build in cascade, because you ask, of course, your team to do the same with their team. In cascade, a purposeful, company leadership, and you lead with empathy.
Yeah. So important to lead with empathy, and also to ask ourselves, right? Did I do my best today? Another strong question. So, friends, if you're listening, if you're watching, the book is The Unlocked Leader. Fantastic book. If you're interested in getting more, go to hlgconsulting.org so you can check that out. But if there was one last piece of advice, Hortense, that you'd like to impart upon the listeners and the viewers, what would that be to help them be a more unlocked leader?
Don't be afraid, to begin your journey, because it's a journey. It's not a destination.
Wow. Don't be afraid. Be courageous. Get unlocked. Great stuff. Hortense, thank you so much for sharing your insight today. Congratulations on your book. Friends, if you're listening, if you're watching, get unlocked. Become an unlocked leader. Check it out. Thank you.